Hello, hello, and welcome back to the channel. As most of you know, I'm Topher, and for those of you who don't know and just randomly decided to click on my video, welcome to the channel. I'm Topher. Thank you for stopping by. So we're here to do a reaction, and we're diving back into Unintentional Love Story. We're diving into episode 6. I just finished reacting to episode 5 and episode 4, and I wanted to... Episode 6 left me in such a emotionally not happy place. I'm like, no, I need some happiness. So hopefully this will lead me to some happiness or more heartbreak. We'll just have to wait and see. But we're going to dive in and just see where it takes me.
왜 여기까지 따라오시는 건데요? 혹시라도 비가 오면 비 맞을까 봐. 진짜.
Oh, girl, please don't break your ankle.
괜찮아요? 헷갈리게 이러지 좀 마요. 나 지금 내 맘만으로도 버거워 죽겠다고요. 근데 사장님이 계속 이러시면 내가 너무 헷갈리잖아요.
Okay, well, can we clear it up a little bit? We could use some words to clear up the situation. He said, I'm confused, and you keep confusing me, so maybe we should make him less confused.
뭔데? 사실은
This is why my phone has been on vibrate for almost a year and a half at this point.
안 받아도 되는 전화예요.
Damn right you don't have to answer this call. We're having a conversation. Yes.
그거 그냥 잊어버리시라고요.
No, I don't want to forget it. No,
제가
no.
좀 못나게 굴었죠. 아마 요즘 사장님이 갑자기 차갑게 대하셔서 제가 좀 섭섭했나 봐요. 제가 좀 이래요.
Don't let him off this easy. Don't let him weasel his way out like this.
그래도 돼요.
We're so close to actually having a conversation. Okay, see, now this feels like a much more pleasant place to end my little binge session with this series today than last episode. Because last episode, that just wasn't a very nice place. So emotions feel in a much better place. But we still got 4 episodes left, which, again, we still have the big reveal that he's working undercover trying to get Taejun to come back to whatever. So we've got that reveal yet to be dealt with. So that's still on the horizon. But there was some very nice development that took place this episode. So we had Dong-hee and Taejun just basically drinking and having conversation with each other about their corresponding people who are basically in love with them that they're in love with. So Dong-hee has had this crush on Hotae since they were kids, high school, whatever, and nothing's come of it. And now he is pushing him off, and he's basically, Hotae's come around and it's like, hey, I want to date you. And it's like, it feels like whatever higher power up there is just putting it on the silver platter, like, you've had this crush, you wanted to do this, here you go. But he is fighting it off again for some reason, and I would like them to explore what his reasoning is just a little bit more. But at least he wasn't quite as aggressive. Like, don't get me wrong, he was still a little ready to start punching the kick in when he saw Hotae there driving the van, but they were at least able to sit next to each other while he was preparing the candles on the cake. Again, never mind, he did, I guess, try to swat him in the head or something, and then Hotae caught it. It's like, oh, look, we're holding hands. I need him. I need violence not to be his only his only solution for dealing with the situation. Let's try words. Okay, let's try using our words just once, just for me. We saw what using our words can do, because finally, well, as soon as as soon as I keep on calling him Jete. I just said his name too, like 30 seconds ago. Taejun. As soon as Taejun heard that Won Young was out with Hotae getting books to study, whatever, he's like, oh crap, I gotta go. Why he was so panicked or needed to go right then and there as soon as he found out he was with Hotae, I don't know exactly. Because we just got done talking about how Hotae wants nothing to do with anyone who isn't homeboy over here. So like he's not out here trying to get Won Young. So he's only got eyes for Dong Hee. So, but he felt the need to run out there straight to the bookshop and rescue him from the rain for some reason. But he did. He rescued him, and they're having just more conversation again, just kind of beating around the bush. And he's following him and keeping him safe. And finally, he's like, you know what? I need you to stop doing this because my feelings are getting confused. I'm getting confused by everything. If you keep doing this, I'm just gonna keep being confused. And then he storms off. I'm like, okay, this is leading us to a place where we can have a conversation. So then they start to have whatever conversation, and then the phone rings, and I was so happy when it rang. And he's like, you know what, I don't need to take this call right now, because I'm like, yes, too many times in these series has that phone call or someone knocking on the door or whatever been like interrupted the flow of the conversation, and they're just like, forget it, and they just let it go and the moment dies. I'm like, no, let's talk about this, we're still in the middle of this conversation. So I was so happy when he's like, I don't need to take this phone call right now. I'm like, yes, don't take this phone call, continue. And then Taejun's like, so you were saying? And he's like, you know, I'm maybe it's because you've been cold with me lately, so I just might have been thrown a little bit of a tantrum, I'm sorry, blah 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 blah. And Taejun's just letting him back out. I'm like, no, don't do this, don't let him. Y'all were so close to having this conversation. Just, I'm not saying pressure him, but apply the pressure just a little bit more. Let's get back into this conversation. We were this close to having this conversation. But he's like, you know what, I'll let him go. I'm like, ugh! I hate it here, I hate it. So, but they apologize and like, okay, well, how about from now on we're just gonna meet each other with smiles. And it's like, okay, yay, sure, fine, whatever. Next morning, Won Young goes into work, finds Dong Hee hungover, and Dong Hee almost lets it slip out that how he's like so naive, or you know how he, like, there's a lot of instances throughout here because Dong Hee can see what's going on. So there's a lot of instances where he almost says things or lets things slip up when it comes to Won Young, where it's like, wow, I didn't think he would have let you go, or oh, you're so, where it's like he almost lets the cat out of the bag. And I'm like, let the cat out. Someone let this cat out. This cat is suffocating in this bag. Please, someone let this cat out. I'm sick and let the cat out. But you know, his vomit reflex took the best of him. He had to go. But when he got back, he's like, hey, I had tickets to a hotel and I was gonna thought we could do a work trip and celebrate your birthday. And that got Taejun all manner of excited. He raced to his friend's workshop with all manner of supplies, and he's like, you're going here and you've got the special clay, and I'm gonna use the kiln, and I'm gonna do this, that, the other. And like, I think he's trying to make like the best piece of work he can. I don't know if this is a piece of work for his, at first I thought he was making a birthday gift for Won Young, but then since I think he said, his friend said he's going like next month or something for whatever, and he's like, oh, you can get the clay there or something. It's like, okay, maybe it's not for the birthday, maybe it's maybe he's just got motivation, like the inspiration struck him and he's going to make something for an exhibit or something. I don't know. But either way, that inspiration bug hit him. And then he was at his friend's workshop, and his friend's like, you don't forget you're going to China tomorrow or the next day because of this conference. I told you your dad knows that you're here, and he already told people you're going to be there, this, that, the other. It's like, oh, okay, well, I got to go on this business trip, this, that, the other. And the whole time he was away, Wan Young was missing him, and just like, Lord, that boy got it bad. Baby boy got it bad. He went over to Hotei's place to help tutor him. Hotei was not doing great at the test prep, which, not everyone is great at testing. Not everyone is great at studying this, that, the other. But what he lacks in that capacity, he makes up for in just social awareness. He's like, I may not be able to solve this problem, but my instincts are never wrong. I could tell it that you like the older brother from the plate shop. I knew it, this, that, the other. And I liked how Wan Young was basically doing like a self-insert during the conversation. He's like, when did you become okay with feeling this way for Dong Hee? And he's like, what do you mean accept it? He's like maybe it was like some sort came out of like a misconception, or maybe like you just got used to him or something like that. And Hotei's like, girl, what are you talking about? You're out here talking about like all like you're like trying to logic these feelings, but it's like, no, that's the heart. It's very simple. Like, y'all might think that I'm simple-minded or something, but it's a very simple thing. I'm feeling from the heart. It's not all this stuff you're putting out there. Like, calm down. It ain't all that. Because I feel like that's something that Wan Young needed to hear, where it's like, you're trying to rationalize this, that, the other, and I get it. But like, sometimes you feel what you feel. The heart is an irrational beast. Sometimes there is no rhyme, reason, or motivation behind it. It just wants what it wants. You feel what you feel when you feel it. So stop trying to rationalize it. Stop trying to do this, that, the other. Just figure it out. And Hotei's like, you need to tell him. 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 Which I agree. And I've said it many times. You need to tell him. Like, whether it's going to lead to something romantic between the two of you, or it will end in you guys just being friends, or it will completely end your dynamic, whatever it may be. It is, for me at least, it is better to pull off that band-aid and confess and see where the chips fall than living in this state of limbo indefinitely, not knowing whether or not, because like baby boy is on the verge of a panic attack every time Taejun comes by and starts to breathe near him. He's on the verge of a panic attack. Oh, I'm so confused, blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, I would not want to live in that state of confusion indefinitely. Like, no, rip off this band-aid. Do you like me? Great, let's go date. You don't like me? Okay, well, I'm gonna go back home. You don't know? Okay, we can talk about this and figure this out. But just this limbo, it sucks. I've been there, done that, hate that. So yes, tell him, please, rip off the band-aid. So we're at the campground, and Wan Young was getting texts from his vice president guy, which again, that's probably the only thing so far that's felt kind of out of place, convenient for me. Everything else has felt kind of a little bit more grounded in reality, and like, oh, this could really happen. These are the happenings of these characters. That one just felt kind of out of character for the vice president guy, because the vice president just seemed, although maybe not, some of the things the vice president has said throughout trying to get Wan Young to continue to pursue this whatever he's trying to get him to pursue with Taejun has been kind of out of left field, and like, so it felt weird. Like, I just can't see, like, if I were in this situation and this man was my boss from a corporation I just got fired, like a professional corporation. Like, it's different. Like, I work in the performing arts, theater. Like, so very loose kind of casual relationships with coworkers and bosses and whatnot. But different dynamic. This is very corporate business suits kind of thing. So it feels odd that the boss would like text me, oh, I met up with him and he's got awful taste in fashion. He's just running around in this scarf. Here, let me take a picture. You see this? Like it just felt out of place. Like it convenient for the moment because he was just sitting here wondering, oh, he didn't message me about the scarf and this, that, the other. Oh, maybe I'm just making a big deal out of everything. And, oh, but I wonder if he got it, this, that, the other. So, yeah, he was just sitting there thinking about it. So it was convenient that that text came through and you can make him feel all warm and fuzzy. Like, oh, he did wear my scarf. Yay. But it just felt out of place for the character of the vice president, guys. I'm like, oh, okay, whatever. But then Taejun calls up and is like, were you waiting for my call? You answered awfully quickly. He's like, basically, yes. And it's like, when are you going to get here? And I'm like, girl, turn around. And he ran to him and he hugged him. I'm like, okay, we're going to have the moment. We are going to have the moment. I don't know if they're going to give me the kiss right now, before or after they end the episode, but we are going to have this moment where the feelings are confessed, because Won Young has reached that point where it's like, last episode, 2 episodes, 3 episodes ago, however many episodes, he would not have run up and hug him like that. He has been so nervous to have any sort of physical contact with this man. So the fact that he is running up and just embracing him like this, he's like, oh, he's reached that point of no return where he's like, no, I've got to get these feelings out of me. So he is going to confess. So then he confesses, he kisses. Taejun's like, you are so stupid sometimes. Kisses him back, and that's where it ends. So we're in a good, happy little place right now. Where is it going to go from here? I don't know. Like I said, there's one looming little thing that's still here, and it's the fact that Taejun is still out here working undercover. Again, I don't know. He obviously does not want to be doing this anymore, but he also would like to have a job when he goes back. Although he seems to have a cushy little gig here, so maybe just stay here, work at the coffee shop and live with your man and be happy. But whatever, what do I know? But yeah, so there's still that little secret looming in the air, which is going to cause more friction. I don't know if we've seen the last of the one guy that we met a couple episodes back in the hospital that accepted whatever money to stay away from Taejun. I don't know if we've seen the last of him. I feel like he might pop up again, potentially. But yeah, that's the big looming thing right now. Maybe more backstory with Hote and Dong-hee. I would like them to just talk, because, well, Hote is trying to get him to talk, and Dong-hee is just responding with violence. So I would very much like Dong-hee to chill, maybe get his ass drunk and not take advantage, none of that, never that, but get his ass drunk, because people are very honest when they're drunk. Get his ass drunk, and that way he won't immediately, or he might, default to like trying to fight or whatever, but get him so drunk that he can't actually fight, and then just have a conversation. Get him to confess whatever is in his brain, in his heart. Get those feelings out. Do whatever you gotta do. I just want the conversation to happen, please, with those two. I don't want anything no romantic shenanigans, no kissing, hugging, none of that happening while either of them are drunk. I just want conversation. Figure out, get us all on the same playing field, so we can all just be on the same playing field and then move forward from there. But yeah, I'm gonna pause here with this one for today because I had some other things that I had planned to jump into. But I hope you guys enjoyed this reaction. If you did, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, turn on notifications to be notified when all my shenanigans get posted. If there's anything else you'd like me to react to, be sure to leave it down in the comments. I'll get to it as soon as I possibly can. If you'd like to support the channel in other ways or get early access to these videos, you're more than welcome to join us over on Patreon. You don't have to, but you're more than welcome to if you want to. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Love ya. Mwah.